everyone, this is Lara Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and today I'm going to talk about how I handled the year or so before I was ready to give my kids a smartphone. So my kids, who are now 15 and 13, both have smartphones now, for better or for worse. But I did think a lot about what age was appropriate to give them cell phones. Middle school seemed like the right timing based on my research. So my son got a cast-off iPhone for Christmas his 7th grade year. By the time my daughter reached middle school just 2 years later, the cell phone demographic had shifted somewhat dramatically to much younger, so she actually got hers within the first 6 weeks of school. With both of them, they began to gain more independence earlier than that. In 6th grade, both of them had extracurricular activities for which I dropped them and then came back to pick them up. Both were walking the mile to school and back, and both were allowed to walk into town or to friends' houses in groups. I could always get in touch with their friends. All of my daughter's friends had cell phones in 6th grade, but I found myself wanting to reach my kids directly. The problem was I wasn't willing to get them a smartphone in 6th grade. Why not? Part of it was that I knew it was a genie that I wasn't going to be able to put back in the bottle. And part of it was that I wanted at least another year of developmental growth before I trusted them to keep track of an expensive mini computer. After all, we're a family that considers gloves, hats, and swim goggles essentially disposable, that we lose them so frequently. And truth be told, part of it was just stubborn resistance on my part to all the things a smartphone represented. Maturity and independence, yes, but also materialism and entitlement. So here was my compromise for that year or so. I bought a family Tracfone. So Tracfone is one of a number of companies that sell prepaid phones, or like what The Wire referred to as burner phones. I found a great deal on Amazon for the phone plus triple minutes. I think it was like $20 total. So let's unpack that a little bit. First, the phone. Basically, you're buying a phone outright. There's no like 2-year plan situation. Ours, I still have it, had a slide out keyboard and wasn't smart in any way. And by that, I mean it didn't use any cellular data. I think you could play like a couple of simple games on it. In glancing at their website recently, they seem to offer mostly smartphones now, but there are still some really basic options. So what about the minutes? The phone comes with prepaid talk minutes, and those minutes usually expire after 3 months, but some phones do come with a carryover option. So since the phone I bought had triple minutes, that meant that when it was time to purchase more minutes every 3 months, I could buy the lowest option, like 60 minutes, and actually get 180 or 3 times that. Texts use 1/3 of a minute per text. So basically, for less than $7 a month, I could have peace of mind. I thought that was entirely worth it. Also, since it was the family Tracfone, it didn't really belong to anyone, so I could give it out to whomever needed it that day. If my daughter had a soccer tournament, then she got the phone for the day. But mostly my son carried it around since he was more independent at the time. So I'm not going to lie and tell you that this was a total panacea. My kids liked the Tracfone for about 5 days, at which point some of the negatives became more clear. The biggest negative? There was nothing cool about the Tracfone. It had zero cachet, and it actually became a bit of a joke among my daughter's friends. Another thing, emojis didn't translate. I think they came up as like gobbledygook on their phones, which, if you know anything about the way that kids communicate, was a severe drawback. That's probably better now. And the last thing was their dawning realization that the Tracfone was really just a parenting tool for me to reach them. So since the phone wasn't as important to them, I needed to remember to keep it charged, something I never have to worry about now that they have smartphones, and also make sure that it came home in their backpacks and went back out with them for the day. But to me, the hassle was worth it, since it helped to bridge that gap between the beginnings of their independence and my readiness, both emotionally and mentally, to make that leap into the smartphone world. And can I take just a quick minute to marvel at our parental need to be in contact with our kids at all times? Just think about our parents and our grandparents. Cell phones were not obviously an option for them, so when it was time to let go, they just let go. It gives me some pause to think about how all of this easy connection and surveillance will affect our kids and their future identities. I'd like to hear your thoughts, questions, and experiences in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.